Hello everyone, welcome again in your science class. So as you all know that in our previous class we were talking about the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. So today we are going to start with our next reaction, that is reaction with acids. Now let us see how metals and non-metals behave with acids, right? Now let us understand that in a simple way, because it's not possible to show you experimentally the reactions with acids right now. Okay, so let us understand this in a simple way, that what happens when metals and non-metals reacts with acids. As you know that what are acids? In our previous class we learned that acids are those which turns litmus paper to red in color, right? If our litmus paper turns red in color in a given solution, then that means the solution is acidic in nature, right? So, if we are talking about metals, then metals can react with acids, right? Metals can react with acids, but non-metals do not react with acids, right? Now, if we do experiments in our lab with metals and non-metals, the reactions of metals and non-metals with acids, then we observe that if we have a metal and we have to observe the reaction of any metal with acid, right? Suppose we add a aqueous solution of acid in that metal, then what will happen? Suppose this is your test tube, right? Here is your metal and we add acid, and when we add acid in this test tube which contain a metal piece also, then what happen? A gas is released, right? If we bring a burning candle or a burning matchstick near this gas, then we observe that a pop sound will appear, right? Then we hear a pop sound from this gas. Similarly, if we have a non-metal in this test tube and if we add acid in this test tube, then if we bring a burning candle near this test tube, then no sound will produce, right? And this pop sound which we hear after the addition of acid in a metal, that is due to the releasing of hydrogen gas, right? If we have to detect the gas, hydrogen gas, right? Then how can we do that? By bringing a burning candle near the gas. If a pop sound is here, then that means the given gas or the gas evolved is hydrogen gas, right? Hydrogen gas will always give a pop sound. So that's how we can detect hydrogen gas. And from this, one more thing is clear, that when metal and acid reacts, it will always produce hydrogen gas. Let us take an example. Suppose we have an example of metal sodium, right? We know that sodium is a metal, right? If we add acid in this, for example HCl, hydrochloric acid, right? Then what happen? The reaction will be like this, NaCl plus, we have to balance this, plus hydrogen gas, right? तो क्या होगा? Metal, when metal reacts with an acid, it will produce some salts and also hydrogen gas, right? Non-metals do not react with acids. Now next reaction is reactions with bases. So bases are those which turns litmus paper to blue in color. If a litmus paper gives blue color in a given solution, then that means the solution is basic in nature, right? So now in this we have to observe that how metals and non-metals reacts with bases, right? So if we are talking about metals, then metals can react with bases, but the reaction of bases with non-metals is very complex. Next is displacement reaction, right? As the name indicate, displacement reactions are those reactions in which one metal displaces the other. Means, suppose one student is sitting here and other is sitting here, right? If we exchange the positions of these two students, this student take the position of this student and this student take the position of this student, means we have just displaced the position of one student with the another student. Similarly, displacement reactions are those in which one metal displaces the other metal. Let us take some examples. We have a solution of copper sulfate in a test tube, right? Suppose here is a solution of copper sulfate. Formula of copper sulfate is CuSO4, that is copper sulfate, right? The color of copper sulfate is blue, right? Blue color का solution होगा. Then if we dip a iron nail in this solution, suppose we dip an iron nail in this solution, right? This is the iron nail. Then what is the symbol of iron? That is Fe, right? If we dip iron nail in it, then we observe after some time the color of copper sulfate, which is blue in color, will changes to reddish brown color, right? ये solution का color क्या हो जाएगा? Change हो जाएगा reddish brown color में. Let us write down the chemical reaction here. What will happen? That is CuSO4, we have a solution of CuSO4 and we add an iron nail in this, we dip an iron nail in this solution, then what happens? Fe displaces the copper, right? Iron displaces the copper and will make FeSO4, ferrous sulfate plus copper क्या कर देगा वो release, right? This is the chemical reaction to show this experiment. Now, one important thing is that as we know that science is not arbitrary, right? It always follows some definite rules, and here is one rule that only metal with high reactive nature, right? The metal which is highly reactive in nature, that can displace the another metal of low reactivity. Right, let us understand one experiment here. Suppose we have 5 test tubes. We name them as A, B, C, D and E, right. In a test tube A, we add a solution of copper sulfate, that is CuSO4, which is the formula of copper sulfate. In a test tube B, we again add a solution of copper sulfate, and in a test tube C, we add a solution of zinc sulfate. Zn is a symbol of zinc, right, and formula of zinc sulfate is ZnSO4, and in a test tube D, we add a solution of FeSO4, that is ferrous sulfate, right, and in a test tube E, again we add a solution of zinc sulfate, that is ZnSO4, right. Now we have to understand the displacement reaction, and we know that the more reactive element can displace a less reactive element. Less reactive element can never displace a more reactive element, right. So in this experiment we have 3 metals here. First one is copper, zinc and iron, right. And out of copper, zinc and iron, the most reactive is, the reactivity order is like this zinc, after that iron, and lastly copper. Most reactive is zinc, and iron is less reactive than zinc, and copper is less reactive among these 3, right. So we know that more reactive element can displace less reactive, so zinc is more reactive. In a test tube A, which contain copper sulfate solution, we add a zinc granules. In test tube B, we add iron piece. In test tube C, we add copper piece. In test tube D, we again add a copper piece, and in test tube E, we again add an iron piece, right. So if the reactivity of this metal is more than the reactivity of a metal in a solution, right, in an aqueous solution, then that can show displacement reaction. right? Here zinc is here, and we know that the reactivity of zinc is more among these metals, zinc, iron and copper. So it can easily displace the copper and take the position of copper, and the reaction will be CuSO4 plus zinc is ZnSO4 plus Cu. It can displace the position of this metal because zinc is more reactive than copper, right? And in this case again iron, right? यहाँ पे क्या होगा, ब्लू कलर का सॉल्यूशन था and it will change the solution's color, right? In test tube B again iron, we have to check the reactivity of this metal, right? We don't have to check the reactivity of metal in the solution because we have to displace this metal, right? And we know that iron and copper are there are two metals, and out of iron and copper, iron is more reactive, so it can easily displace copper again, right? And the reaction will be CuSO4 plus Fe is FeSO4 plus Cu. Now these two will show some reactions, but in these three test tubes no reactions will occur. Let us see why. Because in the test tube C, the solution is ZnSO4, right? And the metal is copper. So copper has to displace this zinc, but the reactivity of copper is less as compared to zinc because zinc is more reactive, and less reactive metal can never displace the more reactive metal. So no reaction will take place here. Again, in this solution, in this test tube, FeSO4 is here and metal is copper. Again, out of Fe and Cu, Fe is more reactive and Cu is less reactive, and less reactive element or less reactive metal can never displace more reactive metal. So again no reaction will take place here. In last test tube again iron and zinc, two metals are here, and iron, out of iron and zinc, zinc is more reactive and iron is less reactive as compared to zinc. So the reactivity of iron is less than the reactivity of a metal in a solution phase, so it can never displace zinc, right? No reaction will take place here, right? So in test tube C, D and E, no observations will be here, but in test tube A and B, some reactions will be observable because these metals are more reactive as compared to metals in the solution phase. And we know that in displacement reactions only more reactive element or more reactive metal can displace the less reactive metal, right? So this is all about the displacement reactions. Now our last topic is uses of metals and non-metals. As we know that metals are used in various places or in various things, like in making machineries, automobiles, aeroplanes, trains, satellites, cooking utensils, right? In various things metals are used. You should be able to guess why metals are used in making machineries, automobiles, aeroplanes, trains, satellites, cooking utensils, like that in industrial gadgets, right, water boilers, etc. Like that, you are also familiar with the uses of some non-metals, right? So non-metals are used, as you know that non-metal is essential for our life, which all living beings inhale during breathing. As non-metal is essential for our life, which all living beings inhale during breathing, similarly, non-metals used in fertilizers to enhance the growth of plants. Non-metals also used in water purification process. Like this, non-metals used in the purple colored solution which is applied on wounds as an antiseptics, means non-metals are also used in antiseptics. Non-metals are also used in crackers. Similarly, in many other things metals and non-metals can be used. You may add some more uses of metals and non-metals from your experiences and make a list like this, right? and this is done with your fourth chapter, that is metals and non-metals, materials, metals and non-metals, and this is done with your today's class, and next we will do in our next class. Thanks, have a great day.